What's up, guys? The random man named Sam here to bring you guys episode 11 review of the Inbetweeners. Sorry that this review is late for those who watch my reviews weekly. School's being a bitch, so yeah, that's the main reason why I couldn't make the video like I usually do on Tuesdays. So anyway, I'm going to try to make this review quick and simple because I got somewhere to go in a couple of minutes, and I plan on also reviewing Psychopaths episode 4. Hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, this episode was alright. Wasn't really funny at the very least, and to be honest, not really my favorite original episode. I would say this is probably my least favorite original episode, considering how like very much Will's trying to get laid from Samantha, but apparently he has to get laid by another girl in order to have sex with Samantha, which is like, which I mean, it's if you think about it, it's pretty stupid because considering how like, and Samantha's reason for making the reason, and Samantha's reasoning was pretty much kind of bullshit too, because she was like, "Oh man, I want you to have sex with another girl so that like because like she's obviously had sex before, but apparently the guy that she stole her, the guy that the guy that she pretty much had, the last guy she had sex with pretty much became clingy to her to the point where like she had to dump him, because apparently it was his first time, but it was her like it wasn't her first time, but it was her, but it was the dude's first time. So she pretty much stole that dude's virginity, and not the other way around. But yeah, and then like I like I mean, even though this episode was meh, there were some funny parts, especially how Jay, like, and I had a feeling something like this was gonna happen. Like, fucking Jay was getting like, was pretty much getting a hand job, and you thought it was like it was like this slutty, spa receptionist when it was actually some dude that had a chick voice, which I completely saw that coming because like because Jay is always the target for getting screwed over at the end, and I like how Neil fucking fell asleep in the fucking in the and the not a, it, I don't remember what do you call it? The bathhouse? No, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. And like he was like, and he thought he was fucking dead, and he thought the old man was fucking God, which I actually thought that the old guy was gonna persuade. I don't know, for some weird reason I felt that the old guy was like gonna, I don't know, try to get with Neil because like I don't know, because anyway, I'm not gonna explain that because that's probably gonna because I'll go into something that occurs in the original version, mainly in season 3 of the original version, which I'm don't want to get into, but just yeah, and like and Simon just in this episode pretty much reaffirms that Simon is pretty much the hopeless romantic because like this dude like because seeing how um what's her face? Carly and Bobby are having problems. Simon uses this opportunity to try to get with her when in reality it doesn't really do anything considering how you tried to get with her by offering her a ride back home because Bobby had shit to do, and then apparently they come home and apparently Bobby was gonna throw her a surprise birthday party, and then she's like you did this for me, and then fucking Bobby's like I'm always 10 steps ahead, babe. And then, and out of nowhere, this random ass chick is like, you're out of nowhere. She fucking she calls Simon a fucking idiot, which I'm like, at first when I saw it, I was like, why did she do that? But then I thought about it, I was like, oh, because, he pretty much spoiled, Carly's surprise party, which, to be honest, to me, it was pretty uncalled for considering how, you know, it wasn't like everyone was like, I mean, there was only that girl and some other chick were like, thanks a lot, dude. But I mean, Carly was still happy, and Bobby was, satisfied, I guess. So, but yeah, overall, meh. This was the most. This is my least favorite original episode from the Inbetweeners. But funny shit, happened concerning it was a spa episode. And next week's episode is the last episode of the first season, which is safe to say that they're obviously adapting of the last episode of the first season in the original version, which is them at homecoming, I believe, or some sort of dance. So yeah, because even though they didn't show a preview, if you saw the super trailer, then it pretty much made it. It was pretty obvious that the last episode of the season would be them, at the dance. So Anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this review. Leave me your thoughts on regarding this episode, and are you sad to see the Inbetweeners go away, maybe possibly for a couple of months or maybe even forever, depending how well the ratings have been for the first season. So yeah, so only got one more episode left of the season, and hopefully the next episode won't let me down. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.